Hey, it's Dr. John Terry, the Black Belt Leader. Welcome to the Black Belt Leadership Podcast, where each week I'm giving you tips, tools, insights, and resources to help you become a better version of who you are and what you do as you discover, develop, and deploy your own Black Belt leader within. Let me open with a thought. Did you know that when you stop thinking about success, when you stop defining what success looks like to you, you stop becoming successful? Yeah, this week we're going to talk about defining success. And I want to open with a quote from my book, Black Belt Leadership 101. You cannot achieve what you do not believe. Now, again, that's a quote from my book, Black Belt Leadership 101, available at Amazon.com or beablackbeltleader.com. But that quote, you cannot achieve what you do not believe, summarizes the first essential quality of what it means to be a black belt leader. It's about belief. Now, belief by definition is trust, faith, or confidence in someone or something. Belief is an acceptance of a statement that is true or that something exists. Belief defines success. Simply put, if you don't believe what you can or will be able to do, if you don't believe you can or will be successful in life, guess what? You won't. Henry Ford put it very well when he said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Because as you think, you become. As you think, you become. And once you stop thinking, you stop becoming. Now, think about that. As you think about success, you become successful. But once you stop thinking about success, you stop becoming successful. Because when you allow the image of success to shrink in your mind, you become less successful at whatever it is you're attempting to do. When you stop thinking about success, when you stop defining what success looks like to you, you stop becoming successful because you cannot achieve what you do not believe. So how do you define success? Interestingly, success is a relative term. Now, if we go to the dictionary, by definition, success is the accomplishment of an aim or a purpose. But that begs the question, what aim and what purpose? Again, it's a relative term because the definition of success is going to be different for each person. How I define success and how you define success, those are going to be different definitions because we each get to define and measure what success looks like for ourselves. But if you don't have a definition for success that is your own, if you don't have a clear visual image of what success looks like for you, it's going to be impossible for you to be successful because you cannot achieve what you do not believe. And this is true for success. So if you want to be successful, to see yourself as a success, you've got to first determine what you believe to be true about success. If you don't visualize what success means to you, you have no point of reference, no visual image to measure what being successful looks like or not. And here's what happens when you don't. If you don't have your own visual image, something that you can hold on to until it manifests in the physical, you're going to allow other people to define success for you. You're going to allow them to dictate the terms and conditions under which you get to experience success in life or not. And when that happens, you are no longer in control of your own life because you're allowing your life to be led by other people. You're having to live up to their expectations and not your own. You're allowing them to define what success looks like for you and whether or not you are living up to their vision, their definition of success. Well, now you have to ask the question, hey, John, if this isn't my definition of success and I'm letting other people define it for me, am I truly being successful in life? Well, frankly, the short answer is no. Now, my good friend Jeff Henderson, author of the book, Know What You're For, an amazing book you can also pick up on Amazon. There are two questions that must be answered in life. The first question Jeff poses in his book, Know What You're For, is this: what do you want to be known for? The second question he poses is this: what are you known for? Now, here's the interesting thing about the concept behind this book. You get to answer the first question, what do you want to be known for? But other people get to answer the second, what are you known for? Now, the gap between the two is your opportunity to grow. Now, interestingly enough, these questions that Jeff posed can be adapted to also defining success. Let me put it to you this way with two questions. The first you get to answer, the second others get to answer. Here's the first one. Do you see yourself as successful? That's the question you get to answer. Now, here's the second. Do other people see you as successful? That's the question they get to answer. And the gap between the two is the success gap you've got to bridge. And really, as you think about it, both answers are going to reveal a lot to you about what you believe about success and how you're actually living success out before other people. Now, another important defining question as it relates to success is, who are you actually seeking to succeed for? If you're focused on being successful and improving yourself in some way, are you doing that for yourself, or are you doing that for other people? Well, if you're doing it for yourself, good for you. That shows you're committed to learning, growing, maturing, improving, and pursuing your own vision of success. But if you're doing it for other people, you're simply allowing them to, again, define success for you, and you're doing that to gain their favor, their appreciation, or their recognition to keep you going. And if you've got to ask other people if you are being successful, here's what I can tell you. Long term, that's a recipe for disaster, disappointment, and failure. Now, why would I say that? Because success that isn't your own, it doesn't agree with your definition, your image of success. It really isn't going to satisfy and fulfill you long term. Yeah, it may make you feel good for a moment, but that's going to be short-lived. To truly define success for yourself, there's a process to that. And let me give you 5 steps to defining success for yourself. First, you've got to identify your purpose, your passion, or your calling. You have to ask the question if there's a cause, a goal, or an objective that energizes you, that excites you, that gets you out of bed every morning ready to go make something happen. Is there something truly passionate that you care about, that you are motivated, that allows you and drives you to take action every day? If success is moving towards something, what is that something, that one thing for you? Now, secondly, you've got to do something, anything, to start moving towards your passion or your calling. That brings us into another character value of becoming a black belt leader, and that's the K in black belt. You've got to be kinetic. You've got to be a person of action. You can't be successful sitting on the bench. You got to get off the bench and you got to get onto the playing field of life. You can't be successful if you're not scoring points. It's doing something consistently, day in, day out, that's moving you from where you are towards where you want to be in the future. Let me give you an example. Let's say you choose to run the Boston Marathon. It's a great success goal, one of the most prestigious marathons in the world, 26.2 miles. You say, this is what I'm going to do. That's my success goal, but you never put the jogging shoes on. You never start getting in the preparatory miles to prepare you to run 26.2 miles in Boston, Massachusetts. Hey, running the Boston Marathon's a lofty goal, but it's only going to remain a dream until you start taking consistent action. Remember, black belt leaders in life are kinetic. Now, I was recently talking to a retired pro baseball player. one of the best batters that I've seen in a long time. And we were talking about what success looked like to him. Here's what he said. He said, John, to me, success was getting on base more times than getting struck out in the batter's box. And that's what motivated him time and time again to step into the batter's box, to stare down the pitcher, to take another swing at the ball, coming at it at 90 to 100 miles an hour, swinging the bat and having another opportunity to get on base. That's how this incredible athlete measured his life. And as long as he was getting more wins than losses, that kept him consistently motivated to keep moving forward, to keep getting in the batter's box and take one more swing at the bat as he kept moving forward towards his next success goal in life. Now, the third step, you've got to be willing to pay the price of success. Understand that success isn't free and it's going to cost someone something. And more often than not, that person that is going to cost is you. Now, that for you could be an investment of time, of money, of commitment, resources, or any or all of the above. It could require sacrificing some sleep to get up early to do studying or stay late because you're coming back from an event that you committed to be at. It could be giving up some time with family and friends. It could be missing out on a life of comfort and ease, at least for a season. My mentor, Dr. John Maxwell, says time and time again that everything worthwhile is always uphill. I love to hike, and hiking uphill is a whole lot harder than hiking downhill. It requires work. It requires dedication. It requires commitment, and it requires an investment of yourself if you truly want to get to the top of the mountain. The same is true for success. It's going to require work, dedication, commitment, and an investment of yourself if you want to get to the top of the success pinnacle and achieve the success you say you want in life. Now, part of defining success is defining what it's going to require of you in order to achieve it. Now, the fourth step in defining success is this. You need a recognition and reward system so you can stay motivated, committed, and have an opportunity to celebrate the wins along the way. When I'm teaching goal setting, especially when it comes to setting those big goals, those hairy, audacious goals, I often ask the audience, how do you eat an elephant? The answer is very simple, one bite at a time. Now, it's a huge task when you're talking about a big goal, but if you break it down into smaller chunks, it's much more manageable. You eat a foot, you celebrate the win. Then you go back to eating. You eat one leg, another win. You celebrate, you go back to eating. You're not going to eat the elephant in one setting. And if you got a big, hairy, audacious goal of what success looks like to you, you're going to be going at it for a while. So recognizing and celebrating the wins are essential because this is going to provide you with the motivation to keep you going and a means to measure progress along the way. Remember, and Tony Robbins says it well, what gets rewarded gets repeated. This is one of the ways that you benefit from defining success. Because when you define what a win looks like, you get to also define the many wins along the way. And when you achieve those many wins, you get to pause for just a moment, take a breath on the climb up the mountain, pat yourself on the back, and celebrate the win. Now, a reward system is essential because it keeps you going during those challenging, difficult times that all of us are going to encounter at various times in our life. I can tell you for me, not every day is a perfect 10. And for you, not every day is going to be a perfect 10 as well. Not everything every day is going to go your way. So celebrating the wins releases dopamine. It's an amazing chemical within the brain that feeds the feel-good center of our being. It motivates us to keep pushing through the struggles and difficulties that we may be facing in the moment so we can get another win. We can celebrate once more, and our brains can give us another release of dopamine that says, hey, this was great. Do it again. Now, a reward system, creating one and following one, is how you create success patterns in your thoughts, and in your behaviors. It's how you define success in such a way that the pursuit of success becomes a habit, something you have ingrained in your thinking that you do without conscious thought. And if given the choice, let me ask you this. Would you rather your brain be hardwired for success or failure? Practicing a reward system helps to program your brain for success. So lastly, number 5, defining success is ultimately linked to your all-encompassing why. Your big reason for doing what you do, for becoming who you want to become. If you're a person of faith as I am, your why may be linked to your faith walk. It may be linked to your spirituality in some way. Years ago, I heard it described as having a connection with your creator that motivates you to go, to do, or to become more. Now, your why may be linked to your legacy, how you want to be remembered, how you want to be thought about and of when you are gone. What is it for you that's your legacy? Is it a work you want to see continue by those who will one day take your place? What is your why? You know, Dr. John Maxwell, in his book, The 5 Levels of Leadership, refers to the 5th level of leadership as significance. I've heard Dr. John say many, many times that this pursuit of your highest calling, your greatest purpose, your why, the thing that gives you your greatest sense of fulfillment, satisfaction, accomplishment, and joy, that is the ultimate pinnacle of leadership. And that begs the question, who doesn't want to be remembered? To build or create something for those you leave behind so your legacy lives on through the lives of those who stand on your shoulders and choose to define success in a similar way. Now, defining success is a personal decision. It's something you must do, I must do, we all must do for ourselves. And how you define success or choose not to define success is going to determine what your future success looks like. If you define success too small, too easy, or not at all, let me remind you of this. You're simply living life like the 99% of everybody else. You're going to go through life existing, but never really succeeding at the level you're capable of. You're going to be content with the occasional crumb of success that life throws at you or that falls from the table. But deep inside, there's going to be a nagging longing in your life that never gets fulfilled. There's going to be a passion that never truly gets stirred. And there's going to be a fire kindling inside of you that never gets stoked to become a roaring flame that motivates you to action. Now, I believe that everybody on this planet was put here on purpose for a purpose, but it's up to you, it's up to me, it's up to all of us to discover, develop, and deploy our own unique black belt leader within so you and I individually can rise to our full potential and experience the success that you and I were destined to achieve. So let me leave you with this. Don't define success too small because anybody can do that. Norman Vincent Peale said it well. Shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. And if you've not yet read the book, The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz, go to Amazon and order it. The Magic of Thinking Big. And if you've read it before, get it off the shelf, dust it off, and read it again. Don't define success too small. Think big. Remember, as you think, you become. And once you stop thinking, you stop becoming. As you think about success, you become successful. And once you stop thinking about success, you stop becoming successful. Thomas Edison, perhaps one of the most prolific, most successful investors of the modern era, understood the importance of defining success. Edison said this, Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. Did you hear that? Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed, Edison said, is always to try just one more time. Let me share that quote with you again. Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. Hey, let me remind you that quitting is easy. Anybody can quit. Successful people don't quit. Quit is not in their vocabulary. Successful people are persistent. They find their why, they pursue their passion, they pay the price, they celebrate the wins, and they keep moving forward. Now, let me leave you with a quote from Og Mandino in his classic tale, The Greatest Salesman in the World, that sums it up very well. And I love this definition of success. Quote from Og Mandino, I will persist until I succeed. I was not delivered unto this world in defeat, nor does failure course in my veins. I am not a sheep waiting to be prodded by my shepherd. I am a lion, and I refuse to talk, to walk, to sleep with sheep. I will hear not those who weep and complain, for their disease is contagious. Let them join the sheep. The slaughterhouse of failure is not my destiny. I will persist until I succeed. The prizes of life are at the end of each journey, not near the beginning. And it was not given to me to know how many steps are necessary in order to reach my goal. Failure I may still encounter at the 1,000th step, yet success hides behind the next bend in the road. Never will I know how close it lies until I turn the corner. Always will I take another step. If that is of no avail, I will take another and yet another. In truth, one step at a time is not too difficult. I will persist until I succeed. Henceforth, I will consider each day's effort as but one blow of my blade against a mighty oak. The first blow may not cause a tremor in the wood, nor the second, nor the third. Each blow of itself may be trifling and seem of no consequence. Yet from each childish swipe, the oak will eventually tumble. So it will be with my efforts of today. I will be likened to the raindrop which washes away the mountain, the ant who devours a tiger, the star which brightens the earth, the slave who builds a pyramid. I will build my castle one brick at a time, for I know that small attempts repeated will complete any undertaking. I will persist until I succeed. I will never consider defeat, and I will remove from my vocabulary such words and phrases as quit, cannot, unable, impossible, out of the question, improbable, failure, unworkable, hopeless, and retreat, for they are the words of fools. I will avoid despair, but if this disease of mine should infect me, then I will work on in despair. I will toil, and I will endure. I will ignore the obstacles at my feet and keep my eyes on the goals above my head. For I know that where the dry desert ends, green grass grows. I will persist until I succeed. Now, this is how you define success. I'm Dr. John Terry, the Black Belt Leader. Thanks for joining me, and have a great day.